Welcome to my channel. I'm Doris. I'm here to show us about my stock account update. Today my stock account has lost $960. The market focused on the CPI data and the Treasury ceiling crisis. Goldman Sachs said the debt ceiling standoff poses a real risk to the dollar. So let's take a look at my account today. Right now in my account, I've lost a total of $1,000, including the post-market price. This is a loss of 1.39%. Right now, the net asset of my account is $71,080.27. Today, United Natural Gas made a loss of 3.47% to $6.4. Market closed generally mixed. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 0.09%. Nasdaq Composite closed at 1.04% due to its heavy position in the tech stocks, and S&P 500 closed up 0.45%. Today, internet content and other tech industries closed up with more than 30% of a gain. On the other hand, oil and gas continued to make a loss of 1.22%. The Dow fell 0.09% to 33,531.33. Nasdaq rose 1.04%, and S&P 500 rose 0.45%. The Labor Department on Wednesday released its Consumer Price Index report for April. This is important inflation measure allows investors to learn deeper into whether the Fed rate rise will help ease inflationary pressures. CPI rose 4.9% in April from a year earlier, from 10 straight months, from 5.0% from 5.0% last. The US CPI rose 0.4% in April month-to-month, compared with the 0.4% forecast and 0.1% last month. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the core CPI rose 5.5% in April from a year earlier, from 5.6%. Core CPI, which is seen as a better indicator for underlying inflation, rose 0.4% month-to-month. The data also shows that the real average weekly wages rose 0.1% month-to-month in April. After falling 1.1% from a year earlier, real average hourly earnings fell 0.5% in April from a year earlier. Actual average weekly wages fell $4.07 from a year earlier to $378.84. The stocks were further supported by a plunge in Treasury yields after Wednesday's CPI report. The yield on the 2-year note fell 12 basis points to 3.89%, while the 10-year yield fell 8 basis points. Mr. Ed Moya, senior market analyst at Oanda, said, "There's a high optimism about inflation going down. The report shows that housing prices remains high, and that it means that the lag effect of falling rental prices will begin to show itself meaningfully in a few months." Ed Moya said, "Inflation should continue to fall in the coming months, but given the strong labor market, it'll be much harder to fall back to 2%. Corporate earnings are still the focus of the market. Airbnb closed down 10.9%, and Twilio closed down 12.4% after both companies issued week earning forecasts. Electric car maker Rivian closed 1.8% higher after reporting a smaller than expected loss. Markets are still closely watching the latest development in the US debt ceiling. There are growing concerns that a failure to reach a solution by June 1st deadline could lead to a default. U.S. President Joe Biden held an important meeting with congressional leaders on Tuesday, while comments from the top of both parties showed little progress. The U.S. government's one-year credit default swap rose to 172 basis points from 163 basis points on Tuesday, according to S&P's Global Market Intelligence data. Goldman Sachs said the debt ceiling standoff poses a real risk to the dollar, said Beth Hammack, co-head of Goldman Sachs Global Debt Arm, failing a solution to the U.S. debt ceiling deadlock would strengthen the position of the dollar. Dollar is at real risk, said Hammack, who has been chairman for the Treasury Department's Borrowing Advisory Committee for about 5 years, adding, "Anything that threatens its status as global reserve currency, as the safest and most liquid asset in the world, is bad for the American people, and the dollar and the U.S. government." The Treasury markets has begun to include a risk of a debt default next month after Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and the Congressional Budget Office warned last week that the government could run out of cash as early as June. Hammack said in an interview on Tuesday. She agreed with Ms. Yellen that not adjusting the debt ceiling would have a disastrous consequences for the U.S. economy. She noted that if the Treasury had stopped making some payments, it would have a huge ripple effect. Some observers worry that the debt ceiling fight could pose a threat to the U.S. dollar status. The dollar is the world's largest reserve currency and also plays a central role in the most international transactions. The dollar is American wealth, said Dalip Singh, the former economic advisor to Biden administration, said on Monday. It allows us to fund the government at 22 basis points cheaper, allowing us to absorb the impact of credit grades in 2011. And the long-term scaring effect of the debt ceiling battle puts it all at risk. Singh, now chief global economist at PGI and Fixed Income, said the U.S. is now moving to a more dangerous position as the next day. When the fiscal space is lost it approaches, it is very serious. There are so many risks involved. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next episode.